Hey guys, Appa here. Today we'll be playing again Penny Dreadful. I have a sweet one for you guys today, one of my favorite kind of archetypes, which is just value things. Just plain value, similar to maybe familiars, I think, in Popper. So what we have here is a blue-white Azorius wave called deck. I found this a similar list on the 5 drum, and I opted to change some things around, trying to build around some other combos and such. So let me go through them real quick. So first off, we have Snowcore Plains and Glacial Floodplain. So that makes it so we can just splash very easily an Archon's Astrolabe, which is pretty good when all of your cards try to be ETBs. It's a cheap permanent that draws a card, so that makes it so like our Vidalcan Masterminds can bounce them for value, or Leonin Rewarder can exile those. So even if they remove the early border, we draw a card. So it has some applications, but also just fixes our mana and is a one drop since we don't have one drops. These are our one drops basically, and we have enough to play them. You need around 13 lands to be able to play your Astrolabes more or less often, and we are just able to do that. That also fixes our mana pretty nicely, since with this we have like 18 blue sources and God knows how many white sources. Yeah, like a million. So we are pretty well set up for the mana purposes. Then we have ETBs like Temple Acolyte, which is just a 1/3 that gains life, useful against aggro and to not die against other decks. And we have Auramancer that can return an enchantment or sorry, an enchantment. Only an enchantment from your graveyard to your hand. You can bounce, for example, the Parallax Wave that's going to die, or the Oblivion Ring if they counter. We want one of these just in case the Parallax Wave goes away. We can return this. This is a combo with that. Then we have also Leaning Relic Warder, which is a disenchant on a stick. It's also 2/2, which is useful to block and all that. And as I said, we can exile around stuff with this. So I'm not going to be super into detail about how the Learning Relic Warder, Oblivion Ring, and Parallax Wave combo works, because it revolves around the stack and setting up your triggers correctly. But just bear in mind that you can combo off with these three cards. You can Parallax Wave, basically recur like I believe like 3 or 4 of the counters from Parallax Wave infinitely. So you can either draw your whole deck, gain infinite life, exile all your opponent creatures, just with these three cards on the battlefield in a specific order. This combo is not the main focus of the deck, but since it's almost free and the Learning Relic Border is just a good card, I wanted to put this in and see how it worked. Then we have also Vedalken Mastermind, which works similarly. We can return permanents we control to his own hand. So this is a good way of just eking out value every turn. Also a good combo with Oblivion Ring. You can set up the triggers on the stack, so for 4 mana you have a Vindicate with buyback, which is pretty good. Champion of Wits, it's a way of just drawing cards, setting up, having a disposable body on the battlefield. The Eternalize is pretty useful since we want to have some tokens, since we have so many lands and so many card draw, we are all going to be able to Eternalize this often. Secret Oracle is an additional value card, just filling the curve. Parallax Wave is a weird card. If you don't know what this does, is basically you have like the idea of this card is that you have 5 counters, so you can exile things with those, but the more you exile, the less time they're going to be exiled. So the idea is that if you want to remove all blockers, for example, if they have 5 blockers, you can remove them for 1 turn. But since this is an old card, there are so many shenanigans we can do with this. Basically, the idea is that we are going to exile our own things with this, more often than not, and setting up the triggers so we can basically use this as a maybe draw like 5, because each ETB we have is basically around 1 card at least. So we can take a lot of value from this, and it's a way of us just refueling all that. That's on a base level. On a level 2, we have also the combo that we mentioned, and also there are ways of we doing this every turn and not just being a refuel option, but a thing of an engine, with like a mastermind, for example, with Auramansa once this goes to the graveyard to return it back. So there are a couple of ways of doing that. We have one Shadow of the Sky more than anything against some decks we will want to have a Wrath. The list I saw had 3 of these, but I opted to have them more in the sideboard because I always want my main deck in this kind of decks to be proactive. And yeah, we're going to have reactive cards like Learning Relic Warder and maybe Oblivion Ring, but I don't want to have these kind of cards that are just uh, not that great in the main deck, since it also hits us and we aren't going to even draw a card, so it's like a really bad combo for us. But I want to have access to one of these. Since we draw so many cards, having silver bullets is kind of a good idea. Then we have the Remaker, which is the removal option that we have. It's when it leaves the battlefield, which is a bit worse than when it enters. But it still triggers with a lot of things. We can still trigger it with Bedlaken Mastermind, with the Parallax Wave, we just evoke it, and so on. Elite Guard Mage is just a way of gaining life and drawing cards, and so does the same thing Cloud Blazer, though Cloud Blazer draws more cards, is still a 5-drop, and tapping 5 mana for a card in this format that's so fast, it can be a bit of a disadvantage, so one, again, for when we need it, we may be able to find it. Then in the sideboard we have a couple of things. We have here Graveyard Hate. I opted for Ravenous Trap. We could play Nihil Spellbomb since we have the Arkham Astrolabe, but yeah, I prefer to have the traps, I think. I still have to decide which one is better. Probably is the Nihil Spellbomb is better, but you never know. Dobe's Veto against Control, another and combo decks that play non-creature spells. Orange Chant, again, great against some decks, awful against others. Really depends. If the opponent plays on your turn, this is awful. If the opponent plays on their turn all the time, this is amazing. This is basically Time Walk. So having 4 in the sideboard is great. Shatter the Sky, again, the wraths that we need against the aggro decks and the combo decks that play a lot of creatures somehow. Learning Relic Warder, yeah, we have the 4th one on the sideboard. I don't think it's needed to have 4 in the main deck. You might be able to just justify that, but I like 1 in the sideboard, additional decent chance, and also can be of utility with our own things. Lastly, another life gain in the sideboard in Temple Acolyte. Yeah, that's basically the idea of the deck. Let's go through a league and see how we go. See you there. Alrighty, first match of the series. We're playing against MT Woods again. We played them the other day, so we should have fun. And I think we can keep this. It's a bit slow, but we are in the play. Oh. I think we start with the planes because we have double white and double blue, but maybe it's incorrect. Maybe we want to. Well, there is no way we are going to play a the Dalken whatever if we draw it, because we need the double island. So Glacier Fortress. Let's just play a basic, I guess. Just pass. Okay, now we have a couple of removal spells, we have a couple of dig spells. Wall of Blossoms, okay, I can't really answer that. I don't remember what I remember playing them, but I don't remember exactly what they were playing, so. We have extra lands, so I think I'm going to go for the champion. Right. Next turn we can Parallax Wave. Maybe Parallax Wave, maybe we don't. Since we have extra lands, I want to... Ugh. Yeah, let's discard a couple of these. We're not an aggressive deck, so Wall of Blossoms isn't that great. But if they play Wall of Blossoms, it's because they have some way of using that, I would think. Like, you wouldn't play Wall of Blossoms in an aggressive deck, right? Maybe they are a mid-rangey deck. Okay, Silver Ranger. They are not playing Snow Mountains, so... Ooh, okay, just a straight up Gruul, interesting. I think we go for the Oracle here. Blocks well. Flop lane I don't care about. I'm going to take the Ready Warder. We have the combo now. That's so interesting. Yeah, let's play this. So with that combo, it's a bit difficult, but the idea is that we want to have the Relic Warder. Okay, I don't care for that. We want to have the Relic Warder with the Oblivion Ring under it, and a Parallax Wave in play. That's basically the setup we want. Garruk, okay, they are a ramp deck. They're playing something else. Okay. Sarkhan. Sarkhan is pretty strong. Okay, Elite Garmage is cool. I think I will just remove the Garruk. They played the forest, so they still have a mountain, so they can play the Sarkhan. But this comes in, they create a token, we excite it with Parallax Wave. We are setting up very well with the Relic Warder, so yes. We could also just play the Relic Warder for no value, but I don't want to do that. Let's play like this. Exile the Garruk. Next turn we can Parallax Wave and Relic Warder and go off, I think. Just we can remove all their creatures forever and draw, well, basically as many cards as we want to at instant speed, so it's very difficult for them to answer that. We just want them to tap out for Sarkhan here. Oh, well, they still have a Sarkhan in hand. They play a Garruk. It's okay. Okay, awesome. So they don't really interact with us. It's cool. Another cool thing is that Garruk is legendary, so we can Relic Warder this. We will do this anyway because it's basically a free Oblivion Ring. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Problem is we don't have extra mana, so we are just going to draw cards for the sake of it. So okay, we enter this, we exile this, we let that resolve, then we play Parallax Wave, then put triggers on the stack. I think that's correct. So an important thing in Magic Online is that you can hold control, like literally hold the key control. Yes, I'm going to exile it. Now this comes into stack. You can have your Garruk back. Now we play this. Now we have the combo. We can exile, like I'm holding control right now. So we hold control while we exile things. We need one extra. Okay, now we have these 3 on the stack, and we are going to exile the Relic Warder. Like so. Now we let this resolve. This returns the Oblivion Ring. We Oblivion Ring the Parallax Wave. The only thing that's behind the Parallax Wave is the Relic Warder, which exiles the Oblivion Ring, which brings back the Parallax Wave. Now we let this resolve. We exile all their creatures. And I think we're just going to attack first. We can basically draw as many cards as we want, but let's just get one hit with the Seagate Oracle first. Okay, now we don't need to hold control, we just exile this, let that resolve. Now exile this, let that resolve, do the same trick. We exile the Parallax Wave. This takes a long time, so we are going to just draw up to 7 cards to always yield. And just draw a couple cards. Okay, nice. Well, that was a nice sequence. Yeah. So they seem to be a permanent based rule mid-range list. Interesting. Let's see. They probably have some. Well, they have planeswalkers. They probably have like Sylvan libraries and such. Orim's Chant could be useful. I don't think we want the Temple Acolytes. This just seems like random lifing doesn't really accomplish much. And I think we are both going to be playing at instant speed. Sorry, at sorcery speed basically. So maybe we want another Relic Warder and always vetoes for the planeswalkers. So we want to remove something here. I don't think I want the Shattered Sky, they seem to have just random creatures. Okay, so we are removing this. Can remove one of these. Yeah, maybe we don't want the 4th Relic Warder. Maybe 4 Orange Chant is too many. Wait, does Orange Chant do anything? Maybe we don't want this. I don't know. Maybe we can something like this. Bring this to in and Shatter the Sky and Relic Warder. Oh no. Something like this. I think that's better. I'm not sure though. I'm super not sure because I honestly don't know exactly what they are playing. Okay, this one is a bit slow, but that's fine. Okay, they start with a Rootboom Crag. You love to see it. Yeah, here we're going to start with this. Now we have the other combo with the other engine, which is Medallion Mastermind. Now comes Astrolabe. Ooh, Relic Warder into Astrolabe is also a cool thing to do. You basically have a 2/2 that dies when it dies you draw a card, which is fine. Do you want to do that or to play the Vedalken Mastermind? Or just play the Vedalken Mastermind here. They could have a bolt. And if they have a bolt and I put this on the stack, then, well, it's a May ability, so we can't get blown out. If I put this, it's going to die for sure. So in that case, I believe that they have removal, so we are going to play this. Okay, nice. So if they have removal, we at least draw a card. It's cool. Silver Ranger, okay. So they have 2 more manas. They can play another one of their cantrip creatures. Now just Birds of Paradise, okay. think we attack here and just play the Bedalken Mastermind. They can remove it if they want to, but if they don't, can start setting up. Okay, they don't have the burst lightning now, at least, or they are just saving it. We'll see. Now the Parallax Wave draws a couple of cards, remove the birds, which is important. Visionary, okay. One second. Oh. Need to check my phone 1 sec. Yeah. Okay, so Dobbin's veto. So we want to just, yeah, we can play the floodplain and pass. We can bounce the relic order, like block, for example, the visionary, then bounce it. We also have the veto in case they have something to do. Importantly, this can protect itself, so now if they, even if they have a removal spell, we can just bounce it back, which is cool. Having a card that's blue tap, draw a card, is pretty good. Okay, so okay, interesting. Wall of Awesomes. I'm just playing random stuff. Not sure I understand their deck so far. Okay, now we have the veto open. Nothing. Some. Okay. I don't think we want to play the relic order now. Yeah, I think we just play the other Bedalken Mastermind and pass. We can bounce the Astrolabe if we want to. That was the other play. Yeah, I'm just going to take a couple of damages. They are not pressuring us that much. I think their top end is mostly Planeswalker based. So even if they play a Planeswalker, we can just counter it. And if it's not, we can remove it with Parallax Wave. Yeah, Sarkhan's not going to resolve. Okay, now I don't think we block. We just bounce the Astrolabe back to our hand. Take 2. We don't really need the Astrolabe in play. Let's start with this, because if we draw a veto, we know that we want to hold mana. We don't. So we can play this now. Looks very well. If they resolve a Planeswalker, then we are in a bit of trouble, but we can gain some life, gain time until we find their combo. Once we find the combo, we can just blow up everything. Visionary, okay. They're grinding alright. The problem is their creatures aren't big or anything, they just cantrip. So I don't know exactly how they recur their ATBs, or they are just playing it like with no real change, like just for a 2/2 that draws a card. Now if they have a bolt, they probably want to bolt the Garmage or a Bedalken Mastermind. Maybe it was a bit greedy of me. Okay, they don't. Cool. Start with drawing a card. Drawing another card. We don't need to play more things. Now the Nevermaker, we can start bouncing it with... Oh, I should have attacked, perhaps. Yeah, I think I should have attacked. But that's fine. Glory Banger. It's annoying. We can exile it with Parallax Wave though. If they exert, we can just bounce that, take 4. That doesn't really do much damage to us. I think they're submitting some interaction, probably a burst lightning or something. I'm going to take 4, I don't need to block here. And I will not bounce the Astrolabe, so we can hold up protection. Also we have a million cards already. We just want to start using our mana to deploy. Shatter the Sky. Nice. Can we bounce? We can bounce 2 things. Like we bounce the Mastermind, the Garmage, blow up everything, then play like a Mastermind. Sounds cool. Sorry. I want to play the land first. Shatter, kill everything. They go up to... They draw a card though, so that's not as bad. Now we play the Mastermind, I guess. We have another one, so we didn't need to protect both. I'm going to discard Relic Order, I guess. We have another one. So that's a cool combo I didn't think about, that we can bounce our own things with Mastermind and blow up everything. Okay, now we start playing this. Our Mancer doesn't really do much, but it helps us set up a good Parallax Wave turn. Maybe play the Parallax Wave and start exiling their beasts. Also wait for that. Just play another Garmage. This way we can start pressuring their Garruk. So the deck is ticking very well. I think there are so many lines we could be playing that maybe you find something better. Oh, love to hear that, but honestly, it's a difficult deck to play, so that's my excuse, I guess. I'm not blocking that. We can just kill it for free with Parallax Wave. We are 26 too. Sarkhan, okay. That's a good sequence for us. They create tokens and we play the Parallax Wave Exile Order tokens. Kill both their Planeswalkers, so they need to have something else here, otherwise, yeah. And we drew the combo too, just to add insult to injury. Yeah, now the thing we can do is just play the Oblivion Ring, for example. What's this? Destroy target artifact on enchantments, deals 2 damage. Okay. So this is going to be exiled, this is going to be exiled. I can also draw more cards, but I don't need to. Just let that go. Dragon gets exiled. We now hit both their planeswalkers. Kill those. So they are pretty much dead here. No. Oh, I didn't want to play that. Oh, whatever. The same thing. Maybe we were going to play it anyways. Neuromancer returns the Parallax Wave. GG's. The Neuromancer returns the Parallax Wave so we can start coming off, drawing cards, gaining life. Though we still had the control of the game, they were at 1 card, so yeah. See you next game. Alrighty, match number 2. I would like to play first, yes. Okay, this hand is pretty bad. I'm going to mulligan. This is better. Going to keep, send back probably one of the relic borders. I don't think I need to. Just start with the plane. That allows the fortress to enter on top. Do I want to play a 2-2? Probably not. I'm gonna Oblivion Ring whatever they play. If they play the Neoform deck we played last time, then maybe we are better set up now that we have removal. I played against this cool Neoform deck that had like Archaeomancer to return the Neoform, then... Ooh, okay. Well, that's not what I expected. That's some kind of combo deck probably. Yeah. Alright, so now we just need to remove the Hermit Druid or we lose basically the gist of it. So yeah, Hermit Druid is very, very, very scary. I don't know exactly how they built their deck, but it doesn't really matter, you need to remove it on site. Though the problem is there's also other ways of discarding all your library. Luckily they don't seem to have it, so that's cool. So here I could play the Relic Warder exiling the Drawbridge. I also can save that, so I can go off with Parallax Wave later. I can also just play this. The thing is, they have this can find the other Hermit Druid and give it haste, so I need to remove it. Yeah. I don't know exactly what they are playing, but I'm sure I can't let them have a hasty Hermit Druid. That's basically it. Yes, pass. Sad because we miss a land trap, but we can't do much. So we played a Hermit Druid deck, but we played all tap lands. They have really good mana and tap lands, so that's very, very strong. Yeah. They have another drawbridge. And they probably have like all creatures, right? We only saw creatures here. Do we need to Oblivion Ring that drawbridge? So sad. I guess so. pass now. If we find the mana for the Parallax Wave, we can exile the Relic Warder, but that doesn't really combo off. Neoform for Hermit Druid, okay. Now we lose. We don't have a way of exiling that. We just play this, I guess. I honestly don't know how they win. We will see. Sure, whatever. They discard Lab Maniac. Finding Bob. This helps us see their deck, basically. Okay. They have their return, and they what do they reanimate? The Angel. They bounce everything. They have the Hapless Researcher and the Lab Maniac to win the game, probably. But we can also just take a look at their deck. Oh no. Yes. One sec, I'm going to take a second here to look at your deck now that it's easier to parse. So they have Postmortem Launch, they have the Dread Return, they have two of the Dread Returns, Haunted Death, which is another discard outlet, but I believe Phantasmagoria is a bit better. Neoform, Form Shamans. So yeah, they have basically, that's the only combo they have, right? Hermit Druid is the only piece. Oh, of course, the Upsol spells combo pieces don't work. Okay, so they have that, they have Elvish Mystic, Llanowar Elves, and Birds of Paradise, Memory's Journey too. Two bounce things. Yeah, sorry, I was taking a bit to look at the deck, so let's concede. Okay, now we can go. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't trying to. I was just trying to understand their deck, basically. I hadn't seen it before. So you know what we are playing against? Shatter doesn't really work that well. Veto doesn't do anything. Orange Chant is useful, and Roman Struck too. Relic Border can be of use too. Just remove some of the life gain nonsense. Nermaker also doesn't really look that cool. Well, it's a piece of removal. Maybe we want it. Just remove one of these. Basically, go all in here in interaction. The Orim's Chant, it's a good way of just making sure they can't do anything. All of their spells are sorceries, so this works pretty well. And sometimes we just don't want them to combo off. Of course, this will not work. No, wait, this does work against Dread Return since it's a sorcery, so even if they have the Hermit Druid, they can't do much. Well, in reality they can mill their deck, then Memory's Journey something. Okay, yeah, I'm going to keep this. Elvish Mystic, okay. I think we just continue with the top lands. If they go find the Hermit Druid, we can also orange chance so they can't play it. Oh, they don't. Cool. We can do it now though. That wastes 2 mana from them. I think we do. Just let them resolve that. If we find removal, we can remove the Kaiser Freebooter, okay? Yep. They remove the orange chance. We could have played it too, but we can also just try to remove that later. Interesting that they went for that. Cool card to boot. I really like the Freebooter. I don't think we are very well set up against them. Now we need to draw the Ramen Trap like right now. We can play the Garmish first. Probably are going to do that. Okay, that removes the Freebooter. We get back the chant. Nah, just play this. Nevermaker. We can evoke that, bounce the Freebooter and cast the chant if we need to. We just want them to go fetch Hermit Druid so we can exile it. And I think we will play a naked Relic Border because we have another one. Maybe I should have played the Oblivion Ring first. Since they have blue mana, they might have interaction. The problem is they can fetch more Hermit Druids, and we really need to find answers to that. Rex Sage, okay, that's a bit better than a Hermit Druid. Do we need to evoke the Nevermaker? Probably. It's not looking good for us. So let's see, we bounce the Hermit Druid to the top, they play it again. If we don't, they just win. So yeah, I guess that's what we are doing. So sad. We might want to have a way of recurring our creatures from the graveyard. That could be a good idea. Can we do something with this? No, not really. I was thinking maybe we can like exile this, get it back and whatever, but we can't. So we play the ring. Promise they can find another one. I want to save my relic order because if we find the parallax wave, we can basically win. Come on, parallax wave. Okay, that works. We really want to draw the parallax wave. I think we win if we find it. We can exile the relic order. We can play a relic order, exile a Oblivion Ring, returning them the Hermit Druid. Then we play the parallax wave, and that's the way we win. Okay. Nice. Okay, so we lose now. Sadly, we had a couple of outs. If we find, yeah, GG's. Okay, let's go to the next one. Alright, guys, match number 3 against Volker X. We are on the play, and this hand is almost good enough. Yeah, if this was snow, that would have been awesome. Sadly, it's not legal. Snow Island. This is fine. We can keep this. We have the combo. So I think we just send the garbage to the bottom. And hope we go against a deck that plays creatures like the first match. I love so much Archon's Astrolabe. It's such a good card. I like getting my mana fixed, getting set up, just drawing cards, filtering, all the good stuff. Requires some amount of build requirements. I was very sad that it got removed from Pauper, but I think it was correct though. But I really like playing with it, with the card. So here I could play the Relic Warder, exiling the Astrolabe, but that's not what I want to do now. I want to play the combo, I think. Sulfur Falls might be a blue-red control archetype. Ooh, nice. Something that's cool to play now. We have an extra Oblivion Ring, so we can discard that. Okay, we'll discard an island and an Oblivion Ring, I guess. So we have the mana and we have the combo. We want a reason to play the cards. If they pass with mana open, maybe we don't. Okay, we can Oblivion Ring that just to slow them down. Nice, and they miss a land drop? No, they don't, okay. Okay, another Relic Warder. Maybe we can just play the Relic Warder instead. That forces them to use a removal spell on it. But them being these colors, I think I prefer to deploy this. Oh, take that. Now we can play the Relic Warder on the Astrolabe to have a 2/2 that dies and draws a card. Minute clock. Okay, we can exile that. Remember, we need the Relic Warder to have an Oblivion Ring on behind it. So I'm going to start with that. Now next turn, if we find a land, we can do the combo and draw and discard. The thing is, drawing and discarding is not that great, so there is no reason to pull the trigger. Yeah, I don't think we are really quartering this. Not sure what they are playing. There's some kind of control archetype. We could play the Parallax Wave to protect our creatures. They might counter this if they can. Okay, they don't. Nice. We're not going to use them. It's just to protect. If they use removal spells, we can bounce the creatures back. Sorry about that. Do they start playing things now? Fourth. Okay. So I'm going to put land over everything. Just land over everything. That's a nice split. They picked the land. Oh, that's awesome. We did the right call there. That was a bit difficult. Okay, now we can start attacking, I think. Yeah, we lose a counter here. Kermage is cool. Now we can start drawing a million cards. Maybe we can start with that. Okay, now we exile this. Yes. That returns. Now we exile this. Exile the Parallax Wave. Let's start auto yielding because this will take a bit of time to do. Basically win infinite life here if we want to. Well, not infinite because we need to not draw our entire deck, but it's a difficult to interact combo because the Parallax Wave can be activated at instant speed, so We have a land drop yet, so we can play like an astrolabe or something like that. Not much more than that. I think they're trying to find a window to do something. They have something now. It's like a bounce. Oh, no, okay. They just can't beat us drawing infinite cards. Good to know. Yes, okay. Now, Dobby's veto looks good against them. Orb's chant doesn't look that great. Yeah, maybe it does. Like, we can stop them from doing things. Well, Relic Border looks awesome. So I think it's like Tobin's Veto, the Relic Border, and then whatever else we want. Because we are not going to play Shattered Sky or Temple Acolyte. For sure. So... yeah, I think we remove like one Never Maker and play like 2 Orim's Chants. Maybe I'm incorrect, but honestly I haven't played that much with Orim's Chants, so I'm not sure what kind of matchups it goes with. Like, it can be useful to force our combo, basically via 1 mana duress, and it can also make them not be able to play. The thing is, they seem to be like an instant speed draw go strategy. Okay. Let's see. This hand is not that great. Just mulligan this. Okay, this is better. We can keep, send the floodplain, I guess, to the bottom. Now we have Astrolabe to start off, which is a good turn 1 play. They could have like a counter for it, I don't care. It's not that instrumental in our deck, it's more like a value play, which allows us to play some interesting things, but it's not mandatory. They can upgrade it in, that would be totally fine for us. So we just pass, we don't need to play the Relic Warder into open mana. The good thing is that it's a May ability, so we can target our own Astrolabe and we don't get blown out. We can hardcast the Nevermaker. I don't think it's that good against them, so if they counter it, that's fine. The thing is now they have 4 mana and I want to hold mana for the, how's it called? The Factor Fiction. So I'm going to start with the Relic Warder now, and I'm going to go for the Astrolabe play. You can counter it, I don't care. I will not protect it. They remove it in response, we should say no. If they remove it now, we draw a card, so we have a 2-2. They can go for the Factor Fission, which I believe they have, and we can counter it. So left is good. Next turn we can smash out Club Laser. Hopefully. Nothing, okay. Good, no. If they don't do anything, we don't either. They can just hold the veto until we're able to play something with veto up. Like, I want to resolve my Cloud Blazer, that's really important. Resolving the Relic Warder round, I don't care. So let's go for an attack for 2. Next turn we can start playing the Nevermakers. It's not that I want to protect it, but I want to... Oh, Thrix, yeah. Okay. They can block it with a card, that's not the end of the world. Champion of Wits, probably go with that. We have extra Never Makers we don't want. So I think we discard a land and a Never Maker. Maybe again the Champion of Wits. No, I don't think so. Just be greedy here, it's important. So we gain the card advantage in the card advantage front. Oh, this makes it so some of their spells can't be countered. It's important to know too. Okay. I'm going to attack if they have another thing to cast. Then that's fine. Etherling doesn't have flash, and we only saw Etherling and Thrix. Thrix is legendary, so if they have another one, they need to basically sacrifice one of them for the Champion of Wits. I think they have it. They have another Thrix, and they are thinking if it's worth it. I don't think it's worth it. No, just Electrolyze. It's fine, I guess. What's this? Chill out. Okay, so I think we know just cast. Again, if they counter, we are fine with that. Just want to make sure they don't resolve something important. I mean, the Electrolyte was a bit rough, but that's fine. Taking 4, we have life gain in the main deck even if we remove some, so we don't really care that much. We have Orion Rings and such, which they can't really interact unless countering, so if we need to resolve them, we kind of can force it with the veto. Okay, land allows us to cast the Claw Blazer. Now this is going to be... I'm going to try and resolve it with the veto if they have a counter. See? Looks like they do. They don't. Probably if they have a mana leak, it's correct to play it, even if they know I have a veto, just to make me run out the veto. Okay. Next turn we can, well, basically force them to damage to that. Okay. So they are clearly playing a control deck. It has removal and counters. I think it's Thrix, and it's not that great, I think. Like, it's a good card, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. Etherling is a better win condition, it's just very difficult to interact. It's difficult to interact, and they can blink it and make it impossible to block, so it's a big thing. Oh, they miscounted mana, I think. They forgot that it costed 5 because of Now we need to start gaining life, I guess. Garmage is a good way of gaining life. So we start with the Astrolabe. Then we can play Elite Garmage. We also play Mesmerist, Mastermind and Relic Warder, but I think it's better to play the Garmage. If we have the combo, the Relic Warder combo, we can exile this for good, I think. I mean, not really, but or yes. I think we can. I'm not sure. We'll need to see it. So is this lethal? This can attack for 8. 8 plus 4. That's lethal, so they should be able to... What are they doing here? We need to chump block, so if they let us chump block the Etherling, I'm going to. That was a mistake. And they let that go. Wow. So interesting. Now, do we need to find an answer to this? We could also just play the Champion of Wits. No, I think we start with this. Secret Oracle, try to find more interaction. What's this? 4th. I think we need to counter that. So now we can play like 2 Masterminds. Yeah, I think we do. We have 3 cards in hand now with the one they are going to draw, but this allows us to try and get one live so we can start drawing cards. If you find a flying creature, we can start blocking them and bounce. Okay, one was a land. What? Wildfire. I honestly wasn't expecting this. Okay, so we sacrifice 4 lands. Like, we still have a lot, but that's super annoying. And I think that's good for them, right? But what do I know, right? I'm losing here. Now if we don't draw anything, okay, we can just draw cards with this. Yes. It's not enough. So sad. Wildfire, I wasn't expecting that at all. So I think we still have a good deck against them. Like Shatter the Sky doesn't really work. Just kills one of them and kills all of ours. Yeah, I think this deck is probably correct to play like this. We need to find the 8 removal spells we have for the tricks, and then we are fine. Oof, come on, this hand is awful. Do we go to 5? I think we do. Are we doing nothing? Yes. Okay, this hand is fine. Let's keep it. Send back this. And the relic order maybe? Or the Garmage. Maybe the Garmage. They also only got to 4. Oh. Poor opponent. Well, they still have like Factor Fiction can draw like 3 cards a brush. So they can still bounce back. They keep 4. Hopefully have the Astrolabe, which fixes our mana pretty nicely. Floodplain. Okay. Probably we start with the Relic Warder, exiling our own Astrolabe. Yeah, I think so. If they want to kill it, they have to kill it in response, and if they do, we don't exile the Astrolabe. We're fine with that. Okay. Now if they remove it, we draw a card. So it's a good value play. Don't think we attack their mana just yet. Now we just play the Floodplain so we can play the Garmage next turn. We are also representing the counterspell, so maybe they don't go for FOF and wait for our turn, which could be a good play. Well, if they have FOF, they probably do it on my end step. Anyway. Okay, they have more mana. So if they have a land and wildfire, then we are kind of in a rough spot. So maybe we just remove one signet with a Relic Order. If the last 2 cards are like counterspell, like Mana Leak and wildfire, then we are in a rough shape. Okay, this way they need to have more, like another land, which is another piece they need to draw, basically. Okay. Do we attack? If they attack and have tricks, maybe we just attack with the Relic Order. That's holding our own Astrolabe, so if they want to kill that, they can. It's not such a blowout. They don't have it. Okay. Start with this. Okay, Mana Leak. I think we play the land. If they have a wildfire, then we keep one and we keep the glacial floodplain. Okay. Veto is a good draw. So now I think I want to attack with both. If they have the Thrix, I don't mind trading a Relic Order and an Oblivion Ring for it. And we start pressuring them really hard. We have a Lovin's Veto too to counter anything they could have. We're in a good shape now. They seem to have kept a very flooded hand, appears to be. I don't want to play the garbage in this position. I want to hold the veto. This plays very well against most of what they could have, basically. Okay, they think a bit. Let's see what they have. Okay, it's well fire, we can just counter. Yeah. Poor opponent. Do I want to play the garbage? I mean, resolving it is kind of useful. We could find the other veto or the orange chance, which could be good draws. Now, even if they resolve the wildfire, we get something back at least. False. Okay. So basically, this is free for them. These two aren't. I think we go lance spells. Right? This way, if they keep the lance, they never keep the lance, right? So it's just like this. I'm not sure about this though. Okay, they kept the repeal. Interesting. They can pay 3 to repeal one of our creatures, but they are dead on board. Yeah, GG's. So to the next one. Alright, match number 4. This is the next day. In case you realize by looking at the camera. Yeah. So this guy is okay, I guess. We have the Champion of Wits to find stuff and we are on the play. Going to keep, let's say, good luck, have fun. Just hope it's not a very aggressive deck. So our creatures are a bit wimpy. One thing I was thinking about, maybe you can comment if you think otherwise, is that maybe we should play more counter spells instead of Orim Chants. Things like Mana Lake, for example, over Domin's Veto is good against control. But for example, against Hermit Druid, I would prefer to have like a Mana Lake, you know, or a counter spell that can counter creatures. Okay, the damage is cool. I'm going to start with the Beldarkenar Mastermind. My opponent is on this. Maybe it's Hermit Druid deck. That could be the case. Again, if they go with Hermit Druid turn 2, then there is not much I can do. Such a busted card. You basically need to have need to have interaction or you lose. Him, okay. Let's see if this is bad, because we discarded the planes, but at least we discarded the creature we couldn't cast, so that's fine. Here I would go with Sigit Oracle, and since we're going to be tapped out, I'm going to attack with the Mastermind. It's cool that it can protect itself. It's very good against these kind of value decks, so you can have a creature that always lives, even through removal or wraths. Let's try and find their colors. Astrolabe and Island. Yeah, so I think I will pick the island here. That allows us to cast the Nervemaker, even evoke it if we need to. Casting it can be useful for the Mastermind, having basically a removal spell, kind of. by just tapping blue. No, our cards go to the graveyard. So now the problem is Champion of Wits kind of doesn't do much. Instead, what I can do is bounce the Oracle. Well, I can't really recast it. So let's start with this. We have a Temple Acolyte to discard at least. Let's say yes here. Okay, I'm going to play the plane and just discard this. If they don't have removal for the Mastermind, we have outs to start generating value by bouncing and replaying the Seed Oracle, for example. We're not really putting a lot of pressure against them, but if they have removal for the Mesmerist, can be a bad thing for us. What's this? Okay, it's pretty cool. Okay. Disciple of the Bolt, what's going on? I honestly don't know what's going on here. That's exciting. Oh, Barracks Wave. So, I think I should just attack with the Oracle and replay it. If they double block, I might just bounce it back. Maybe there is an infinite combo, but I really don't know about that. Not that I can think of, at least. I think I want the Astrolabe here, even though the Oblivion Ring is pretty good. Just being able to bounce it with the Mastermind can be better, and also fixing our mana can be useful too. So they have a lot of tap lands. Yeah, well, they need that to ensure that they can him to Turak. The thing with spawning pool here is that, if I'm correct, the Golgari creature land, it's also legal. What's this? Okay. Okay. I don't know exactly what they are playing. I don't seem to find what's going on here. I don't understand, honestly. Okay, so what do we draw here? Nermaker? Yeah, no, we're going to start with this. We can float a snow mana if we want to. Okay. That allows us to cast the Parallax Wave, but I prefer to have either recast the Astrolabe. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Since we drew the planes, there is no need to float a snow mana, basically. Okay, Cloud Blazer is fine. And I'm not going to attack with the Champion of Wits. That trades with the Hoarder. We don't want that. So the good thing about this deck, the deck we are playing, is that against Hit to Turak we have these engines and things that draw cards. So we have ways of just churning through our deck, which is a very good thing. I'm trying to think exactly what kind of deck wants all of this. Feels kind of weird. Okay. Do I want to block? No, we can put that on top with the Nevermaker next turn, so there is no need. Parallax Wave is cool too. We can exile the Disciple and hold the blue to bounce it back. We can also stack the triggers, exile everything. The problem is they still have the Haunted Blade Mail. So if I'm going to just use that one point and click removal spell, then I prefer to do it with Nevermaker. Just going to attack here with the Seed Oracle. And the Champion of Wits. They can trade if they want. This time I don't really care. I'm worrying that the Hoarder is actually a combo piece of sorts. This looks like it isn't. Like if you can record that infinitely, then you have infinite treasures that you can sacrifice for infinite damage with the disciple. But yeah. So I should have a draw step 3 stop, so we can put this on top before they can do anything. Maybe not now. Now I'm going to block and bounce. Maybe one thing I could have done is blocked with this, so I can bounce the plate main instead. I'm going to bounce the plate main anyway. Yeah, I should have blocked with the 1-2. That looks like a better idea. Okay. They're definitely some kind of combo deck. I'm not sure what they're doing exactly. This is when this or another non-token creature you control dies. You create a spawn that's a token, so it's not infinite. Okay. Now I think it's time to pull the trigger with the Parallax Wave, just exile everything and bounce it back. Now here we do need to hold control. We can exile this for good. We can also exile the C8 Oracle and let that resolve, so we have an extra trigger. Yeah, I think we do. Here we let this one resolve. Now we bounce this back to our hand. We return the C8 Oracle, we have the triggers. The land is pretty good. Now their creatures get exiled forever. We have this, we can pass. Yeah. So that's how it sequence. We can do that return for the rest of the game too. We can also just bounce with Nevermaker the thing and just make them always have the Haunted Blade Mail. And they can't do anything about that. It's better than Oblivion Ring because we know they're drawing dead. So that's basically the game. We just hit them with a Secret Oracle for the rest of the game. They can't do anything about this. Yep. Now it's lethal. That's 5 mana to basically top lock them. Now they also have the spawning pool, but if they activate it, we can exile it with Parallax Wave later. Yeah, it looks like they are not going to play that, so we can't top lock them. That's a good idea. Here we can attack with this, force them to block basically. Yeah, they are in a rough spot. So we can play the Nevermaker to save mana later, or just cast the Cloud Blazer since it hits for more. Yeah, this is fine. The Vedalken Mastermind has been pretty impressive. I was really on the verge on this. I didn't know if it was good or not. Apparently it's very good. Okay, now we can do the same thing. We just attack for 3, play another thing. Now we can play the Garbage and the Nevermaker, or the Parallax Wave, depending on what they do. Okay, yeah. Start with this. Shatter the Sky. Yeah, I don't care about that for now. Now we have the Nevermaker in play, just in case we need to. We can do this end of turn, for example. Okay. We know exactly what they have in hand, so we can do, okay. Yeah, I knew that you had this in your hand. Yep, let's go to the sideboard. Cool. So this looks like a combo deck, right? I like the Relic Order since they had that plate mail, some other things, and you can also just block. It looks like they're a creature-based combo deck, so I don't want the vetoes. Probably Oromancer looks good. Maybe one champion, since the champion doesn't really work that well against the him to Turax. We prefer to have Seed Oracles. No, maybe I prefer this over the Temple Acolyte. Yeah, I don't want to sideboard that much. It could make sense to bring in Shatter the Sky, but I think one is fine. We can try and find it when we need to. I'm really curious about what's their combo. This guy is fine. We don't have that much dig, but having the Oromancer is a good hedge. We have a Temple Acolyte to get in the board. The Astrolife is a good turn 1 play, so I'm fine with that. Let's start with the planes. Okay, now we have something to cast later. The problem I have with the Garbage is that it's a 4-drop, so that's kind of bad. I prefer to have more 3-drops. So I might just go down on Garbage and go up on the other creatures. Here I could deploy the Temple Acolytes. Yeah, I think so. Just get in the board, make sure we don't die. They didn't seem to have any removal spells, so their creatures seem to fare very poorly against a 1/3. So this non-land permanents. Okay, I can try and exile that later. I could also play the Oblivion Ring on my Astrolabe just to make it so if they blow up with Boiler, I have something to do. We draw a card and we play the Oromancer getting back the Oblivion Ring, for example. They don't have green, so they can't really do much with the Boiler. Now I can't really attack because they have this spawning pool here. They can block, then use their own mana to regenerate it. That's pretty cool. So let's just Play this and pass. If they can blow up the boiler, then we lose like a 1-3. I don't really care that much about that. Losing the astrolabe can be a problem since we have some plays to do with that. Yeah, that was what I thought. I think most of their green mana is tapped. So, yeah. We can just wait on the Oblivion Ring and see what they do. They seem to be just holding to the boiler so they can blow everything up. So if I play an Oblivion Ring exiling my Astrolabe, for example, they can't do much about that. I'm going to go for that. It's a weird play, but I think it's worth it. Mostly because I want to have the Oblivion Ring in my graveyard for the Auramancer. And so this way I also draw cards. I don't care if my Temple Acolyte dies. And if they want to... they can respond to the trigger on their upkeep, so they don't blow everything up. Apparently they don't. So we get our card back, and we can bounce that back later with the Auramancer. It's not a superb play, it's not something like broken by any stretch of the imagination. Something that we can do that generates value, which is basically what we want here. Interesting that they don't attack with the poles. Okay. Maybe they are a bit new to the game. That could explain some of that. Okay, so I can play the Auramancer, get back the O-Ring, and I have a blocker for their spawning pools. Yeah, just generate value, do nothing. That's exactly our game plan. Then we can deploy the Parallax Wave, so it's because it's saved with Auramancer. Okay. Sure. I could use my Oblivion Ring. I could also use the Parallax Wave. We just play it, exile this. They might have like Wield, something like that. But if they do, we can just exile the Auramancer and get it back. So I'm going to go for that. It's not a great play, but it's something to do. Him to rack, that's annoying. Okay, we keep the Oblivion Ring at least. And they saw one of the Oblivion Rings, but not the other, so they don't know we have it. Oh, okay, they don't do anything. Cool. Again, we are just doing nothing until we find something to do. We have so much card draw that if we find like a... Maybe I should have kept a land in hand for... Yeah. For... How's it called? The Champion of Wits. Better than nothing. We're probably going to respond to the fading trigger on our upkeep, exiling our Romancer, so that way if they have a wield we can respond, because we will have two counters. Okay. That was weird. Maybe they don't know how Parallax Wave works, but it goes away in my upkeep. So, yep. It barely did anything. No, this deck has a lot of shenanigans going on, so I'm going to give them some leeway. The deck has some stuff, some interesting stuff you can do, so it's difficult to play around. But yeah, that was not a great play, I don't think. Maybe now they can respond by killing the Romancer now, for example, while we have the Parallax Wave in hand. Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah. So, do I care enough about that pawn of Ulamog? Again, I think there are some kind of combo deck. I'm going to keep the land in hand. They could have another Hymn to Turak, but if they don't, and we find the Champion of Wits, we can loot that away. Okay, again, let's just keep that in hand. I'm starting to think that they aren't a combo deck, that they just have creatures that when things die, they get stuff. And they play like, rats of some kind. Maybe that's the idea of the deck. Okay, now I'm going to start holding cards in hand for the Hymn to Turak. In case they play it, then they have less chances of hitting our Parallax Wave. Also, we don't have any uses for mana, at least not right now, so I think it's correct to hold on to this. Okay. Sure. I don't think we saw anything in green except the play boiler. Okay, I'm going to block, I think. I don't really care about the Temple Acolyte. We are the high life total, but if they are going to give something away, then I'll take it. Again, I'm not sure what they are playing. Maybe you are yelling at the video saying that they are playing some weird combo deck. Yeah, that's what I thought. Just another Wrath. Again, I don't really care about my Temple Acolyte or anything, so. No, I'm going to just hold. Probably just play the plane, since we are going to have to pay 4 at least next turn. This is a cool card. I didn't know about this. So that's going to blow up on his upkeep or their upkeep. That's fine. They get back their Pathracer, but or whatever the name is Pawn of Ulamanga. That's okay. Or they can. What are they doing? Oh, they are sacrificing the treasure because it's going to die. Makes sense. Oh, they know that was legal. Okay, makes sense. Game 3. Now I understand what they are trying to do. Biorhythm. Now for sure the Dobbins beat are good. And maybe just Shatter the Sky. I don't think it's good. Now I saw that they just play some tokens. And Elite Mage, I think it's, well, maybe better than the Black Lights. Now we can hold the counterspell, and yeah, they have Duress, but that's fine. Okay, this hand is a bit slow, but we have colors, so I'm going to keep. We have colors, we have the Parallax Wave. Okay, now I understand what they are trying to do. Biorhythm is a great card, it's a great magic card, really unfair. Way of winning. Now I understand what they play with green. Sorry, green. Makes perfect sense. Okay. Let's start with this. So I want to have like 8 mana and a creature on board. It's fine. We can start with the Auramancer to get back the Parallax Wave. Again, just grinding out value. Relic Warder. So we can play the Parallax Wave. No, I think we prefer to play the Relic Warder exiling this, so we can then bounce it back with the Parallax Wave, basically. Yeah, they don't want to trade, makes sense. Okay. They did well in drawing the Hymn to Thorax all the time. Okay, now I can play the Plains, play the Parallax Wave, and just pass. That way we are fine against Hymn to Thorax. Nice, that's a good start. Let's go with this. Hmm. It's an interesting thing. The biorhythm is really, it does really kill you very fast. Something to keep in mind. So I can start with the with the parallax wave now. Just exile a couple of things. If we do that, maybe it's better to just do it on upkeep. Yeah. Okay, that's a good draw. I should have started by exiling the Romancer so we can respond to the trigger. And we want to remove the last counter now. And we can exile now the plate boiler. This draws a card, and we return the parallax wave. Yes. Nice. Now we go to our main phase. We can replay the parallax wave and hold the veto. That looks like a good idea. Hmm. Um, huh. What are they going to say? Like parallax wave? We still have one. Oblivion ring? No, I think I just let that resolve. I don't think we are relying on one card to not lose. Yeah, they choose the parallax wave. We still have one. So they need to answer the other one. Oh, like a Mastermind is cool. Let's start by attacking with the Guard Mage. Then we can play Mastermind and no, we can play two things. Let's start with the Seed Oracle. If we find a land, we can play also the Mastermind. Yeah. Okay, now we can exile both their creatures, then bounce back the Parallax Wave. So that's 1, 2, bounce. So we hold control, exile, exile, and like exile. Now if we do that, I prefer to do it with this. Okay, now we do that. So let's hold control, exile the pawn, exile the dire fleet, and exile the Garmage. Now we let this last trigger resolve, that goes away, then we bounce this. We draw another card, both creatures get exiled, we can attack now. Yeah, probably just with this. Yes. But that way they can't really biorhythm us, not yet at least. I'm going to let that resolve. I want to save my Beto for their combo pieces. Not so sure why they have the Disciple. Looks like a weird inclusion. Okay, so let's start by attacking with all. Yes, all, except the Mastermind. The MVP. Now I think we play the Parallax Wave. Just the floodplain and pass. We have triggers up our sleeves, and yeah, just make sure we don't let anything weird resolve with veto. We should be fine. Okay. Oh, cool, we won. Let's go to the final match of the series. Alrighty, last match of the league. Let's see what happened to our opponent. And Scythian. Let's see what you have in store. So we have enough to cast spells. I think I'm going to keep it. It's not that super amazing. Hopefully our opponent plays artifacts or enchantments that could be useful for us. Call it. Definitely I'm going to start with planes now. So it looks like an affinity kind of build. Single Pest, wow. Yeah, they have a lot of cards from affinity decks in other formats. Just start with planes and pass. Now, if they don't have anything like animate, I don't know the names of the cards, sorry. But if we have to remove anything at random from what they have now, maybe it's just Single Pest. But if they play something bigger, then I'm going to go for that. Like a soul artifact, yeah, that's definitely going to go. My opponent is going to be probably pissed that they have running Red Guard in the main deck. But what can you do? Yeah, taking 6 turn 2, not bad, not bad. So yeah, let's go like this. Rewarder, exile their Ornithopter. Now we can even trade with the Frogmite. I don't care about the Thopter. I only care about the Soul Artifact. This way it's gone for good. So if they attack with the Frogmite, they're probably going to block with the Rewarder. I just don't want to die. I wanted to block there. Sorry guys. That was a mistake. I clicked one too many ones. Sorry. See, it even got glitched out. That wasn't my intention. Okay, they don't have anything else Now we can do even something a bit even better, which is just to play the Rally Warrior exciting the Frogmites, and now we can start even attacking. Well, they have the Signal Pest. I don't know why they didn't attack with the Signal Pest. That was weird. So yeah, we attack with the Rally Warrior, we exile their Frogmites. They can attack for 1, but we attack for more, so... Sorry, opponent. The thing is that Really Warrior is really good in our deck. It's not main deck hate against you. Um, it's a role player that can be part of a combo piece, so it's very important for us. They drew a land, which is good. They can attack for 1. They probably should. They aren't blocking, I don't think. Yeah, let's just attack. They don't have any way of doing anything here. I don't understand exactly why they aren't attacking with the Signal Pest. And we can't really block it. So let's go with Oracle. And probably just play the plane. Mastermind is a good way of winning the game with Parallax Wave 2. Ghostfire Blade is annoying. We can tempo them out with Parallax Wave, I think. They should really be attacking with a single plus 2. I don't really get this. Ooh, Oblivion Ring is even better. So we probably just exile the blade. Also, they could have just equipped here, so they have a 2/3 that can block our creatures. I don't know exactly what they are doing here. I'm missing something. I don't know. Don't think I do, but it looks like it. Now, we probably just play these two. We set up for a good Parallax Wave turn. Parallax Wave also a good combo with the Mastermind. Okay. Play W Ring, exile the blade. And play this other guy. So now we have a good combo where we can play this and bounce it back. So we can start by bouncing it back. Then the next turn play it with blue open so we can play it and rebounce it for exiling something permanently. I'm probably going to do that, but at the same time I'm also going to be playing the Parallax Wave just in case. You never know. Yeah, end of their turn, probably going to bounce back the Railing Warder so we can start exiting things forever. Frogmite, okay. Yeah, I think it's correct to do this. I'm holding control all the time because I'm not sure exactly if I need to. I don't think I do, but now we bounce. We can let this resolve. Now the leaves goes into the stack, they get nothing back, then the frog might get exiled forever. Looks like they have something. Sharpness Blast, yeah. 5 to our face. Annoying. We can't really do much against that. I'm going to just attack with my creatures here. They can attack me for 2. Yep, if they draw Shrapnel Blast, we lose. There is no way around it, but I think we can play around most of their things. Nice, that's great news. Now they are just dead, yeah. We let the Fading Trigger resolve. Now we can exile all of their things and attack. We know they don't have any cards either, so we can just exile and attack. Yeah, the Relic Borders were MVP here. Luckily we have another one in the sideboard, also another Temple Acolyte, which might be useful. The Shatters can also be good. Remove the expensive card drawing things. Yeah. I like having one Neuromancer just in case. Nevermaker is also good. Yes, let's remove some of the expensive things. Be more lean and more geared towards just gaining life and stopping them from killing us. If you get a Shatter the Sky hand, then we can go with that. Okay, this hand is a bit wonky. One land and we can start playing the Champion of Wits. I'm going to keep, it's not great, but we have the Shatters, the Oblivion Rings. So they have the Memnite. Wow, Memnite is also legal. Great. It's a great mulligan to 6, I will say. Welding Jar doesn't really work against us, I don't think. Let's start with the plains. No, I think it's correct to start with the Glacial Fortress, so we can have double blue or double white next turn if we need to. Ghostfire Blade, well. So yeah, they can attack for 3. Okay. Let's see what we draw now. Probably nothing we can play. We have very few things to play. Okay. So now we can probably just Oblivion Ring out the Ghostfire Blade, try to find the land for the rats. Try not to get burned out. Oh, they have 2. Difficult down. You also have the Welding Jar, which can regenerate one of their creatures, so even then the Shatter the Sky doesn't really look that great. Now, I think more damage comes from the Ghostfire Blade than anything else. So unless we draw any, like an Astrolabe, we can play also with the Temple Acolyte. I'm going to start with the Oblivion Ring. Of course we do. So let's go with Astrolabe then, Temple Acolyte, so we can block the Memnite. Oh, Relic Warder. What what do we exile now? So we can set up like Relic Order, then Oblivion Ring, and just remove their creatures, or we can remove the blades. Probably it's correct to remove the blades. Now if they want to attack with the Mem Knight, they need to... Well, they can offer the trade or equip with the blade. Looks like they are offering the trade. So yeah, we can block, but they also have the Welding Jar. So we trade the Relic Order for nothing, basically. So we are not going to do that. Annoying. Let's see. If I blow up, if I remove the Ghostfire Blade, they just attack for 2. If I play the Temple Acolyte, I can also play the Champion of Wits, trade with the Mem Knight, they also get for 2. If I remove the Signal Pest, they attack for 3. So if they have Shrapnel Blast, we probably just die. At the Black Light, we go to 10. Oh, this blocks well the Mem Knight, so maybe that's correct. They can pass the blade there, but at least they are expending something, some time or something. Let's attack with the Relic Order since we are not going to be blocking. Another blade, wow. Yeah, that's really bad for us. They get in for 6. I think I'm going to just block here. We are so in the back foot. Even if we can play the Shadow of the Sky, they have like, oh. So let's see. Okay, one option I'm thinking is out of a stretch, we just play the Oblivion Ring, we exile the Welding Jar, we block the Mem Knight, we take 2. They get back the blades, they have infinite blades. Then we, on their turn, draw a land and Shatter the Sky. They're probably going to draw a card because they maybe equip the blade, but they can't at least regenerate. I think it's the only out I can think of. The other option is to play the Champion of Wits, double block, but they regenerate. Well, it's similar in that respect, right? They regenerate, we take like 2, they get back the blade. Yeah, I'm going to do that. That also helps us find the lands we need. Nice. We're discarding these 2. Playing this. Pass. Now, if they have anything, we are just dead, right? Even something like Shrapnel Blast, they can just attack with the Pest with the 2 blades on it. This way, at least we don't die to that right now. They don't regenerate. That's good for us. Because now we can use the Oblivion Ring to exile the Signal Pest. We can even bounce it with a Nevermaker. Okay, so clearly they have the Shrapnel or a Negate, or any other counter spell for that matter. I'm not really sure what kind of counter this deck can play. So I can... Okay, so we can play the Nevermaker, like cast it, then block and bounce. That way they don't have it until the following turn. Okay, like that. Yeah, I think they just have a negate. Or like a miscast or something like that. No, miscast, no, they could have just equipped the blade. They can't even remove the Nevermaker because we can just bounce it. If they have Fling with Eye, but I don't expect them having Fling. Okay, we can block here. Say better than just evoking. It's not 100% safer, but... Okay, now we can also just use the Oblivion Ring there, but they might have the negate we are thinking about, we're talking about. So I think we just do this. And so yeah, that's great, we can exile that. Awesome. So they have one extra card in hand, but they don't have mana, so yeah, we can bounce, we can exile it with the Oblivion Ring and play the Temple Acolyte. They play the Signal Pest we knew about. They equip one blade. Like they snapped, equipped the blade. I don't think that's 100% always the correct play if they are playing negate. So maybe they just didn't do the equipment of the blade to try and bluff something that could make sense. They make me think of negate and all that. They don't have anything. That could be a reason. They could have like a shrapnel blast, for example. That could be a thing. Next turn, if we draw land, we can play the Champion of Wits, which is not great, but at least in theory we are not dead just yet. And if we do that, oh, our opponent is connected. Let's just hope they can reconnect. So let me pause this video for a minute while we wait for Sephion to get back online. Okay, so long story short, my opponent disconnected and we got the match, which is kind of not the best way of ending the league, but happy nonetheless that we got a 4-1. I think that in the third match, in the third game of the last match, we could have won since we were on the play and we would be able to deploy more before getting hit by them. So, what do we think about this deck? I think the deck is pretty good. The Medallion Mastermind really shined. I understand why we only want 3. It's a good way of just generating value, especially with the new addition that I added, which was the Astrolabe. and the Relic Warder plus the Oblivion Rings. That works pretty well. You can respond to the trigger and bounce it back for maximum value. So it's a good value play, even though it doesn't really look that much. It's really important for the match, for the game. Then what I think about the champion wits, I didn't like them at all. I think that just Seed Oracle would have been better because I don't think we ever were able to just eternalize this. This eternalize means that you need to run out of cards, and running out of cards with these decks seems very difficult since we are just, well, drawing a lot of cards. That's what this deck does. So I prefer to maybe play the Seed Oracles or other ways of generating value and not play that many Champion of Wits. Um, yeah, drawing 2 and discarding 2 is fine, but it's not 3 mana in my opinion. Then the Temple Acolytes, we didn't find any matches where they were good, and the only Relic Warders are a bit hit or miss. Yeah, against control you can just remove an Astrolabe and have this creature that when it dies draws a card, which is a fine combo. Against decks that play artifacts or enchantments is awesome, and well, there are some matches where it's not that great. So maybe go with 2 in the main deck, for example, instead of 3. That's a good idea. And then I love Cloud Blazer. I like having this as a lucky charm, but Elite Garmage might be a bit garbage. I don't know. That was very bad. So it's a bit expensive. We don't have any ramp like the deck that I based my deck around had. They had like Azorius Signet. We don't. So Elite Garmage is a bit worse. Maybe just again Seed Oracles. Maybe something like Mana Wars. There is like Barring, which I don't have here, but I can show you maybe. Let's see. Yeah, so this guy, which is basically a Mana War that can bounce your own things, and if you bounce your own things, you draw a card at the end step. And this also works very well with the Bedag Mastermind, right? Because it reads at the beginning of your end step, if a permanent was put in your hand from the battlefield this turn, draw a card. So if you do the loop with Mastermind Astrolabe, you draw a card extra with Barring, which is pretty good. Sorry about that. So yeah, I think that could be a good addition. Again, we are fine with the mana here because we have the Astrolabes, we have good mana with woodlands and all that. So I think we could be able to play this. It's a very good value play, and just sitting there can generate some value. Then we never run against. I don't think the Ramen Strap with Blue Eldor were important. And the other thing I saw is that I think that we might be better with counter spells instead of Orange Chant. I would need to see what's the counter spell that works in this format. Maybe it's like Mana Leak, maybe it's something else. But something that can just interact with combo decks in a different way. This, I don't think it really works against Hermit combo decks because, yeah, you stop them from casting, but they can respond to that by meeting their deck and just setting up with Memory's Journey, which is not ideal. So I think that it's not worth it against them. It's worth it against other control decks since you can play this and they have to counter that, but it's similar to Breast in that sense. And I think that I prefer to have like a mana leak and just respond on the stack since that gives us more flexibility against other decks. So I think that's more or less what I think of this deck. I really liked it. I think it's very good. I don't know if it's the best deck in the format, but it's very good. So yeah, I'm happy with this. So thank you so much for watching, really, honestly, and yeah.